Solo fans, today I'll be presenting to you the second episode of the third season. Thank you for your tremendous support on the last video and make sure to turn on notifications so you don't miss any new recaps. Let's get started. Dear viewer, don't forget to watch the previous episodes first as the events are connected. Alright, in the first episode we stopped at an unexpected scene. The huntress visited Jin-Woo in his office and said she wanted to join his guild. So, will he accept her request? Let's find out. Jin-Woo allowed her to come in. He offered her a drink, then asked her to clarify what she meant because he couldn't understand why a famous huntress like her would leave a huge guild to join an unknown one. She replied, "Didn't you understand what I said? I want to join your guild." Jin-Woo couldn't believe it. He thought it was a prank. He asked her, "Did the association president ask you to do this?" She denied it. Then he asked her, "Could it be that you were kicked out of your guild?" So she told him. That's why he decided to ask her directly, without beating around the bush. "Why do you want to join the solo guild?" And she too was shocked as soon as she heard the name, because that's not a professional name. He told her that this name is now official and that he and the vice president agreed on it. Then Yujin intervened. "We didn't agree on anything," Jin-Woo replied. "You didn't object at the time, so I thought your silence meant you agreed." He felt embarrassed, but he decided to focus on the hunter to find out her intentions, because her coming here like this is not normal. She was trying to act calmly, but Jin-Woo knows she's nervous and pretending otherwise, which made him even more suspicious. Then he asked her, "What about your contract? It hasn't ended yet." She told him that she has enough money to pay the contract termination fee. Jin-Woo doesn't understand what exactly this woman wants. She's willing to lose money and fame just to join them. So he told her, "Our guild doesn't have the resources to compensate you, and we also can't pay the same salary." She replied, "I don't care about that." So he asked her, "Why are you doing all this just to join us? There's no benefit to being with us." She was about to tell him the truth, but she hesitated and said he wouldn't believe her and would think she's crazy. Because everything started that day when he passed by her. He smelled nice, unlike all the other hunters who reeked of foul odors. And since that day, she couldn't get him out of her mind. At first, she tried to gather information about him out of curiosity, and day by day, with each encounter, her attraction to him grew stronger. And when she was on the verge of death against the ant, Peru, she wished she could have another chance to confess her feelings to Jin-Woo. She thought she was going to die, but she survived. The manager told her that Jin was the one who saved her, which made her admire him even more, and she said that her last wish would be to die beside Jin. That's what she wanted to say. That's why she wanted to join his guild. But when she stood before him, she couldn't bring herself to say it. She felt extremely embarrassed. Her face turned bright red, and Jin understood from her reaction that she was hiding something from him. Hunter Cha refused to talk, barely managing to keep her composure. So he asked her again, "Aren't you going to answer me?" She told him, "I'm looking for peace of mind. I want to live comfortably." Eugene felt sorry for her and told Jin-Woo, "Their guild must be exhausting them. Imagine how desperate she must be to say something like that." After thinking about it, Jin-Woo believed her. After all, being an S-rank hunter, that's a heavy burden. But he refused to accept her directly and said there was a test she had to pass first, and only if she succeeded would she be accepted. She replied that she hadn't read anything about a test in the announcement, so he told her that it was the vice president's fault. Then he sent him to get some snacks and drinks to honor their guest before she left. But she agreed to undergo the test. This is the opposite of what Gino expected. He replied that "you must defeat one of my monsters." She was upset by his words and said, "Do you see me as so weak, O fisherman?" Sung Jin-Woo. But she agreed and asked him, "Which creature will you summon?" Gino got excited and said, "For you, hunter! I will bring out the strongest one." Cha Hae-In felt a bit of pressure, but she didn't back down. She is ready to do anything to be by his side. The gym is far from here. Gino thought this was a good opportunity to see if he could transport more than one person through the shadow. He asked the hunter to wait and told her he knew another way to get there quickly. He approached her, pulled her close, and then activated the exchange technique. The shadow engulfed them both and they were pulled inside. At that moment, Eugene entered with snacks in his hand, only to be shocked by the sight of the orc soldier in front of him. The latter quickly snatched the plate from him and ate it. The scene shifts to the training hall. Gino arrives safely. Hunter Cha couldn't believe what had happened in just a few seconds. They had arrived here. Gino didn't say a word and confirmed that the exchange technique is actually not just about swapping places with his shadows, but literally allows him to open a gate that transports him from one place to another. The proof of this is that he was able to bring another person with him, but he needs 3 hours of rest after each transfer. Anyway, he didn't want to waste time here and told her, "Let's get started." She remembered that she had forgotten to bring her weapon, so he asked her, "Do you mean the digging tool?" She felt embarrassed when she understood what he meant and said, "No, that's not my weapon." He told her, "I'm just joking." Then she decided to check the weapon storage here, hoping to find something that suited her. She used her card to open the door, and indeed, the storage was full of weapons. But most of these weapons didn't fit her fighting style. She took a sword and told him she was ready, so he asked her, "Are you sure? This isn't your usual weapon." She replied that it didn't matter, and that it's a hunter's duty to adapt to any situation. Jin-Woo decided not to underestimate her and summoned Igris, telling her, "This is the strongest swordsman among my soldiers." She asked him, "How will the winner be determined?" He answered, "Either you destroy him and win, or you surrender and lose." He thought to himself, "I promised her I would summon my strongest shadow, but I'm afraid it might shock the Bureau's management." Hunter Cha was ready for the confrontation. A powerful aura emanated from her, so an idea occurred to him to make the challenge even harder. He asked her to turn around for a moment and took out the Demon King's sword, the strongest sword he had, from his storage so Igris could use it. Then he told her that everything was ready and gave them the signal to start the fight. Igris raised the sword and was the first to attack, swinging the sword and unleashing a lightning storm toward her that destroyed the floor. But Cha Hae-In dodged it easily. Jin-Woo admitted her speed and said that this attack was indeed powerful, and that just a scratch from it would be enough to kill an ordinary person. The huntress didn't just defend, she attacked him, and a powerful clash occurred between them. Meanwhile, the head of the Hunters Association appears in his office, which is located on the top floor of that building. Then suddenly he sensed a powerful aura nearby, so he looked out the window and realized that the energy was coming from the training hall. But he doesn't know who's there because there are no reservations today. So he called the monitoring room and asked them to transfer the feed to his office, and he saw Jin-Woo and Hunter Cha. He hadn't expected that they were friends. He then remembered that when Cha Hae-In woke up after the Jeju raid, the first thing she asked about was Jin-Woo. Had he come? He smiled and said, "How did I not realize that at the time?" Then he called his assistant and asked him to turn off all the cameras in the training hall. In this way, he expresses his respect for Jin-Woo and respects his privacy. Then suddenly, the office shook. These were the side effects of that battle in the training hall. Jin-Woo appeared shocked as Igris, his second strongest soldier, had been defeated. Hunter Cha asked him, "Is the Black Knight really your strongest soldier?" "I don't think so. Please, summon your strongest." Jin-Woo replied seriously, "You might get hurt." She told him, "It's fine. I want to fight him again." Jin-Woo was shocked by this. She knew that Peru had become his, and he asked her, "How did you know?" She told him that she saw everything in the footage recorded on Jeju Island, so he agreed and called his name for him to come. The hunter's body shuddered, but she didn't lose her focus. Peru appeared, and the aura emanating from him was completely different from Igris's. Jin-Woo asked her one last time, "Are you sure about your decision?" Then he told Peru, "Defeat her, but don't hurt her." He replied, "Yes, sir." And as usual, before any fight begins, Peru lets out a powerful scream to assert his dominance and literally terrify his opponent. The gym's lights shattered and darkness spread everywhere. The hunter was stunned by his strength and was even more amazed by Jin-Woo because he was able to defeat this creature on his own. Peru extended his claws, but he was ordered to hide them and reminded of the first command, being told that if he disobeyed, he would be held accountable. He immediately hid them and said, "As you wish, sir." Charles noticed that he was distracted and decided to take advantage of the opportunity to attack. But before she could even move, the monster was already behind her. She felt that what happened last time was about to repeat itself. So she attacked quickly before he could hit her. So Peru stopped the sword with complete ease and was thinking about how he could defeat her without harming her. He came up with an idea. He would show her the vast difference in strength between them so she would lose the desire to fight. She tried to strike him with her sword, but Peru simply dodged her attacks. She tried to hit him in several places, but it was useless. And Peru seemed to be enjoying playing with her. As for her, she was shocked by what was happening, since Peru hadn't even moved from his spot so far. He looked directly at her. She could literally smell the scent of death emanating from him. Peru opened his mouth and let out a terrifying roar that pushed her back. Jin-Woo approached and asked her, "Does this satisfy you?" For him, the battle was already decided. But she was still determined to fight. She didn't want to surrender. Jin-Woo couldn't understand the reason for this persistence. He knew that she was aware of the difference in strength between them. So why doesn't she just give up? Because Beru is special and not like the other shadows. He possesses great intelligence and a terrifying instinct that makes him the perfect killing weapon. And now he's barely restraining his intent to kill Cha, fearing she might act recklessly and get hurt. Beru sensed that Cha was thinking about defeating him, and he couldn't accept such an insult. He told her, "How dare you?" And before he could finish his sentence, he lunged at her, extending his claws, forgetting his master's warning. But she managed to dodge him and retreated backward. Beru's anger grew even greater. He doesn't like appearing weak in front of his king. Cha Hae-In decided to use her strongest skill and attacked him, aiming for his head. Beru simply stopped the sword with his hand and broke it. Even so, Cha still had a chance. She used her magical energy to reshape the sword. This surprised Beru and she managed to stab him. Jin-Woo was shocked, not out of fear for his shadow, but out of concern for her. So, when he senses danger, he immediately switches to extermination mode and will kill the source of the threat without any hesitation. A terrifying, destructive aura emanated from him as he prepared to crush her. Jin ordered him to stop, but Biro did not obey the order and was literally about to cut off her head. But at the last moment, Jin intervened and stopped him himself. For the second time, the hunter Cha escaped certain death. Jin spoke to him. "Didn't I give you an order to stop?" Biro realized he had made a big mistake. He immediately backed away from there. He bowed before him and began to beg for mercy. He literally apologized for his mistake. He was trembling with fear. Jin understood that Biro's actions were instinctive as he prioritizes protecting his master above all else. But ignoring orders is also a serious mistake. That's why he was unsure whether to punish him or not. Then he looked at Hai and asked her, "Why are you pushing yourself this far? There's no need to go to such extremes just to join us. This is just a test to join a guild that doesn't even have a name yet. The matter isn't worth risking your life for. Tell me, why are you doing all this? Or are you going to refuse to answer again? Are you interested in me?" Huh? She kept looking down without saying a word. Jin-Woo couldn't understand what she was thinking, and he lost hope of getting an answer. Suddenly, Cha spoke and said, "Yes, I think so." She said these words, her cheeks blushing. The scene shifts to the office of the Hunters Association in America. Norma and Michael apologize for failing to convince the hunter. Jin-Woo: "The man in front of you is named David, and he is the director. He asked them to explain what happened in Korea. So Michael spoke and said, according to Miss Norma's observation, the hunter Jin-Woo is one of the monarchs." This news shocked David, and he asked, "Do you mean he's of international rank?" Norma told him that the situation with that hunter is complicated. Usually, awakened individuals gain their power from a place they call the other side. The amount of this power varies from person to person, and it appears as a shining light within them. These people are called monarchs. But as for Jin-Woo, she found nothing inside him but darkness. This means that he is the shadow monarch himself, not just someone drawing power from that side. David asked her, "Do you mean that evil controls that hunter?" She replied passionately, "I'm not discussing with you whether he's good or evil. I'm talking about the source of his power. The hunter doesn't get his power from anyone, because the source of that power exists within him." Michael continued, saying, "So that means he has no limits." Norma confirmed that. David thanked her for the clarification and left the office. Michael asked him, "Where are you going, director?" He replied, "I'm heading to floor 24B. Follow me." The two men walked toward the elevator. They entered, and the elevator started moving down. The director was frustrated because they failed to recruit Jin-Woo, but he doesn't intend to give up. He will try to entice him by every possible means. Then he asked him, "Do you remember the first S-rank gate that appeared here?" Michael replied, "Of course, it destroyed the western part of the country. How could I forget it? At that time, we gathered the strongest hunters and spent huge amounts of money to recruit them, but only 5 survived. And that was the first time the international ranking appeared. Those 5 received the international rank because they succeeded in defeating the dragon Kamesh, who had killed a large number of powerful hunters." They entered a long corridor. The director told him, "Did you know that monster left behind a gift?" He opened the door and they entered. Michael was stunned when he saw what was inside. This magical artifact was taken from the corpse of the dragon Kamesh. 8 years have passed, and no one has appeared who can withstand its power and use it as a weapon. That's why it's kept here until someone capable of wielding it appears, and they also keep the dragon's skeleton there. The scene shifts to Korea. Jin-Woo took a shower, stood in front of the mirror, and said to himself, "I've gotten taller after waking up, but I don't think I'm handsome." He looked closely at his face and said, "I'm just very ordinary, there's nothing attractive about me." Then he left the bathroom and asked his sister what she thought of him. She didn't understand what he meant, so he told her, "How do I look to you as a man? Am I handsome?" She replied, "And where did you get that confidence from? You look like a loser." He thanked her in his own way. She tried to kick him to push him away, so he told her, "My body is S rank, you idiot, you'll break your leg." Then he told her that he was going to establish his own guild. She replied, "Amazing, now people will call you president." He answered, "Yes, if everything goes the way I want." And he asked her what she thought of the name Soloply. She mocked the name and told him, "You fight with your soldiers, so you're not alone." And indeed, Jin-Woo was convinced by what she said and started thinking of another name, so she suggested the name Ajin, which means, "I move forward." She told him that this name is similar to hers, but written in reverse. She asked him, "What do you think?" He said that it's an acceptable name. The scene shifts to Ha-In's house. As usual, she couldn't sleep because she was thinking about Jin-Woo. She was thinking about what she had said in the training hall. She thought that Jin-Woo would think she was crazy. Then she said that he saved her life, so it's normal for her to feel this way about him. But immediately she took back her words and said that this wasn't a valid excuse, and that if it weren't for Byung's healing ability, she wouldn't have survived. At that moment, she remembered an incident that seemed like a dream. When she was unconscious, she saw herself in a dark place. Suddenly, a shadow grabbed her and pulled her toward it. It was the shadow of the hunter Byung, and he asked her to tell Jin-Woo to be careful. As soon as she remembered that, she felt fear and confusion. She doesn't understand what Byung meant or what she should be wary of. The scene shifts to the Knights Guild headquarters. They received news of a powerful gate appearing slightly above rank A. But it's not as dangerous as a rank S gate, so they'll handle closing it. Jung-soo was worried. If they aren't careful, everyone inside could die. Hyun-tae told him negative rumors would spread if they refused the mission. Jung-soo said, "People think gates of the same rank are the same level, which is wrong, and he refused." Hyun-tae said, "If they refuse, another guild will take it and gain fame at their expense." He changed his mind upon hearing that, but he admitted their guild needs a rank S hunter. This is the only difference that keeps them behind other well-known guilds. Yu-Rim suggested collaborating with another guild. She said the cost would be high, so hiring at least one hunter would suffice. Jung-soo said this gate is tough, and one hunter won't be enough to fill the gap. Then he realized her intent and asked, "Do you mean Hunter Sung Jin-Woo?" She said yes, and Jung-soo liked the idea, especially since Jin-Woo is famous, and their fame would grow if he joined them. He's also strong, increasing survival chances, so he asked them to find and contact him. Hyun-tae suggested calling him. Jung-soo said calling him would be disrespectful and preferred visiting him. Meanwhile, Jin-Woo appears in the office, showing Yoo-jin the name his sister suggested. Yoo-jin liked the name and they agreed on it. To himself, he says any name would be better than solo play. Then he asked him what happened yesterday with Hunter Cha. Jin-Woo said she's unsuitable and asked him to find someone else. Yoo-jin didn't expect this. Hae-In has all the qualities any guild would wish for. Yet Jin-Woo rejected her, leaving him confused about what exactly to look for. Jin-Woo replied, "I want a trustworthy licensed hunter who isn't interested in hunting or raids." Yoo-jin started thinking, then there was a knock. Jin-Woo opened the door, hoping it wasn't Cha again. He found the Knights Guild staff there, clearly forced to smile, and Jin-Woo wonders what brought them here. We'll stop here. Stay tuned for the rest of the events in future episodes. I love you guys. Goodbye.